Okay, let's just jump right in because it is the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? Is AI coming for my job? I mean, the headlines are everywhere and the anxiety, it's real. So today we're going to cut through all that noise and really look at what the data is telling us. All right, so let's tackle the big, scary question head on. You've definitely seen the headlines. Tech job growth is slowing down. Unemployment in the sector is ticking up. And it's so easy to connect those dots and just think, yep, here we go. The robots are taking over. But you know what? That's not the real story. Yeah, those headlines, they only show you a tiny little piece of the puzzle. What's actually happening is way more interesting and complex than simple job loss. It's really a story of transformation. And to get it, you gotta look past the surface. Because the real story here isn't about elimination at all. It's about transformation. Just think about it for a second. Every single role, from marketing to engineering to sales, it's all changing. Every company is scrambling to figure this out. So this isn't an ending. It's really the beginning of a huge shift in how we work. And this right here is the absolute key distinction we need to make. The fear is all about our jobs being completely eliminated. Poof, gone. But the reality, it's about transforming the workplace itself. It's not about getting rid of people. It's about getting rid of the boring, repetitive, robotic tasks within our jobs to make us way more effective. You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It really gets to the core of the problem when companies only think about cutting costs. Sure, layoffs might give you a quick hit to the bottom line, but it's a fad diet. The results never last. The real work is investing in your team, training them for this new world, and building a strategy that's actually going to work long term. Okay, so it's not just the fear of job loss that's fueling all this anxiety. There's another headline that you have probably seen floating around, the one that claims most of these big corporate AI projects are just total failures, that the tech just isn't ready. 95%. Yeah, that is the staggering number from a recent MIT report that has grabbed so many headlines. 95% of AI pilot projects fail to deliver any return on their investment. And on the surface, that sounds pretty bad, right? It seems to confirm our worst fears, that this is all just a bunch of hype. But hold on, just like with the job numbers, we have to dig a little deeper here. What does failure actually mean in this context? Is the AI technology itself just breaking down? Or is something else going on entirely? Because the nuance in that report, well, it's everything. And here is that crucial nuance. The report found these failures happen when companies treat AI like some kind of magic wand, when they try to use it in a silo, all by itself, without plugging it into their existing systems or setting up any responsible guidelines. So it's not the AI that's failing, it's the human strategy, or lack thereof, behind it. It's a perfect way to think about it. You can't just unbox an Alexa, stick it on your kitchen counter, and expect it to magically dim the lights. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to connect it to your smart bulbs, you have to configure the settings, you have to integrate it. AI is exactly the same. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but you have to set it up right for it to work. So what happens when you combine that fear of being replaced with the pressure of implementing a brand new technology that everyone keeps saying is failing? Well, you get a huge, profound impact on workplace culture. All this uncertainty is creating an environment of fear, and that fear is fundamentally changing how we work. We're seeing the rise of what's been called grind culture. In some parts of the world, they call it 996. That's working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. But let's be really clear about this. This has nothing to do with productivity. It is a direct response to fear, that deep, nagging fear that if you don't work harder and longer, you'll be the first one to be called irrelevant and replaced. And this fear is exactly what's driving this intense culture. It's this toxic cocktail of anxiety. First, you've got the fear that your skills are becoming obsolete. Then, the fear that your job itself could just disappear. And on top of it all, this immense pressure to constantly adapt, but with no clear roadmap. That is a perfect recipe for burnout. But here's the thing. It does not have to be this way. And this brings us to the most important shift in perspective we have to make. What if, instead of seeing AI as a threat, we started seeing it as a tool for empowerment? What if we saw it as our next human superpower? The entire point of this technology is to automate the robotic, the tedious work that just bogs us all down. It frees us up to focus on what humans are amazing at: creativity, strategic thinking,
real ingenuity. That's the stuff AI can't replicate. That's where we provide the irreplaceable value.
And this is why we need to act with urgency. This isn't about some far-off future preparing the workforce of tomorrow. It's about empowering the workforce of today. Every single person, from the brand new intern all the way up to the CEO, needs to be building their AI skills and literacy right now, because knowledge is truly the ultimate antidote to fear. So what does the path forward actually look like? Well, first we have to really understand the urgency. This is happening now, not later. Second, we have to focus relentlessly on upskilling our current teams. Third, we need to shift our culture to embrace AI as a helpful tool, a superpower, not a threat. And only then can we get to that final step, using this whole transformation to get back to real, sustainable growth for our businesses and for our careers. So in the end, maybe we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. Maybe it's not about whether AI is a threat to your job. The real question is this: is AI the superpower you just haven't unlocked yet?